Welcome back to Digital Disappointment. This is Captain Gumpo, and we return to the Gnomoria tutorial we've been going through. I've got these guys building a workshop here. It's a stone cutter. We'll cut raw stone into blocks, and this is the stone heap they'll be moving all raw stone to. And eventually we'll dig out this area here and let them put the cut stone blocks and crafted stone items in there, and form sort of an assembly line like we did here with the lumber. Once we get the stone cutting started, we'll be able to make saw blades for our sawmills. A sawmill requires a table, a chair, or a workbench, a chair, and a saw blade made out of any stone. And I don't recall, crude workbenches can't make the saw blades, so that's why you're really limited as to what you can do with that crude workbenches at first. Okay, we now have a stone cutter. A stone cutter can make blocks out of any kind of stone. There's 7 different types. You've got basalt, granite, bauxite, lapis lazuli, marble, serpentine. They're kind of different colors. The green and the gray are a little bit hard to tell apart from me with a little bit of color blindness, but it really doesn't matter which of the stones you make anything out of, because they're all worth exactly the same based on the quality of the good, not the particular stone. So you can really customize the aesthetics of places that you build based on what colors you want to use, and you don't have to worry about any of the color differences affecting the value of things. Okay, so we don't have a hell of a lot of stone here. We just have that one little pile. We're going to remove that pile, so they've moved into here. And what we could do over here is set up a dirt pile. So we've got our, let's rename that so it's easier to find later. This one is just for logs, if I remember correctly. So let's go log pile. Wood stuff, so that'll basically be anything that isn't logs. Furniture, tables, chairs, etc. Actually, we won't check that yet because we want to put stone stuff in there. Make stone tables and chairs. Okay. What we can do is create a space here for amassing all that dirt that we're going to end up with. And we'll take out those. While they're working, we can start our repeat. Soil clumps. Boom. These guys are training up. Which unit is training right now? We're at 2036, so that'll be the worm-like quacks. Let's see how they're doing. Worm-like quacks. Fighting is up to at least 14 or 15 for these guys. They're in good shape. First animal or goblin or anything that shows up, they should have no trouble annihilating it without taking any injuries or serious injuries. Now, to extend an existing stockpile like this one, if you hit the hotkey O, as I've got predefined in the game for stockpile, and then you click within it and drag, it will extend the existing stockpile rather than creating a new one. So then you can create custom shaped ones if you've got a weirdly shaped room, or you want to just quickly go and throw a stockpile down that's going to occupy the space where objects are already laying, so they don't have to move them around like they did with some of this dirt. You can just go make your oddly shaped stockpile, and all that shit will basically be where it needs to be instead of them having to move it around. Now, how do we do for blocks? Have some. Right. Let's go ahead, find out, access into stone heap, because our blocks are going to need to go in there. And we're going to need to make our stone stonemasons on the opposite side of this for the guys to grab blocks from. Got some chisels, some planks. Progress is being made. Now, functionally, there's no difference between leaving yourself 1 thickness or 2 thickness walls. I do it just for aesthetic purposes, or if I want a certain area to be kind of visually delineated. Like here, I've got a 2 thickness at least between the wood and the stone stuff, just so that visually there's a separation. I know this one from that one, and it's just a personal preference. Monsters do not destroy walls. They do not cut through constructed or natural walls of any sort. That's entirely the province of your gnomes. So you don't have to worry about that. It's really just kind of a personal style thing. So in here, we'll make stone goods. Let's go with blocks, chisels, knife blades, knives, I guess, saw plates, earth, molds, furnace, trough, and rocks. Yeah. I think we have to make the other things in order for them to show up in here. We've got pickaxes and not linkage. Stone doors. See, now, the reason that I'm renaming all of these stockpiles is so that later, if you're looking for information in a given heap, where one of them that you've got, you'll have many, rather than having to go hunt that one down from whatever project you're working on the far side of the map, you can just go into the stocks button here. It'll tell you how much food, drink, how many weapons, armor, furniture, storage containers. It's got some rudimentary information there. It's got all your stockpiles in here. So anything that you didn't rename, like this or that, you have no idea what they actually have without clicking on them. So you can save yourself a little bit of time by just naming them, and then click on that, and it shows which goods are specifically allowed in there. It shows the contents, and you can set up the transfer chain, which we'll deal with another time. So those stockpiles that you have renamed to something a little bit more descriptive will come in very handy. I think these two here are probably the ones I didn't name. No, that's not one. That's a training ground. We should get those saplings out of there. That one is a stockpile, so that's just the food heap. And I'm guessing there's one over here somewhere. No? Let's rename this one. Let's see. Find that other one. Dirty logs, wooden stuff. Stone heap, stone craft. What's this one? We have a specific little dirt pile that I've missed somewhere. Probably this one right here. But if you move to center on it, so you can be sure. And then you can rid of it. So you don't have extra heaps of dirt scattered around. So then later on, when you're doing this, there's one of the workshops is called Prospector. Let's see here. Prospector. Table, chair, chisel. With that, they can go through the dirt heaps and skim out metal slivers, which you can smelt into iron, gold, etc. bars. Comes in handy when you've got thousands and thousands of dirt. Rather than just throwing it away, you can actually process it into something useful. Okay, so once you've got things moving smoothly, what you can do, have strawberry farm, wheat farm. Okay. Typically, you want about 36 each for strawberries, wheat, and cotton down the road. Right now, what we've got is 18, I believe. 24. Okay, so we're close. 36 plots does a pretty good job of providing straw for your beds and your animal feed, food for your gnomes, and so on, and seeds for your emus and for trade later, various stuff like that. So what we'll do is we'll look at where we can set up our mushroom farm once we get seeds for that. It would probably be down in this layer or below, because we need to get the water to it. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay. Now maybe what we could do, there's a hole in our hill over here. Maybe what we can do is put a stairway to access it fairly close to the entrance. So food we're bringing in from trees and farms has a home. Let's mine out these 3 spots. We'll go terrain, big stairs down, hard to rotate, and once we have this cleared out, we'll throw a set of stairs in there. Of course, our miners are training until 4 o'clock, I think. What we can do is we can speed things up a little. Not going to hurt anything. Okay, now that we've got that, slow things down again. Now that we've got that, we can throw our staircase in there, and with this item here, dig hole, we'll dig a hole there. That will set us up with a nice starting point for our next layer down. Come on, you little fella, hurry up. There we go. Okay, so now what we can do, mine a corridor out either side from here. And let's see, we're going to want a fairly large area for food. It does food and drink, so let's plan on an area that is 10 by 15 to start. We go. Let's go 10 this way. 10. 7 side, side. So there's our 10 by 15. Now, another reason to have it near to the entrance is because when we butcher animals, we don't want to have them having to carry the meat a hell of long ways. Just wastes more time and energy. The more you can shorten their trips with various things, the more efficiently your gnomes will work, and the more idle time they'll get. The more idle time they get, the more likely you are to get new nomads with each passing season. Now, set up our permanent food pile. Food's in there. And under food, it'll have fruit, eggs, meat, sausage, cheese, mushrooms, sandwiches, omelets. So just hit that for now. Drink, same thing, milk, wine, beer, tea. It covers all the basics. So we'll throw all that in there. Raw meat is also included. So by default, we've got all our raw meat going there. Let's get rid of that stockpile. Oh, to get rid of stockpiles is to, I'll show you, remove designation, right? Like that, you can mouse over the area, it's good. To get rid of a workshop, you actually need to do deconstruct, which I've got set as Y in my keyboard controls. The same is true of anything built out of the workshop list, including training grounds. Now we have we can put our stone cutters, I believe they're called, stonemason. Stone cutter makes blocks, stonemason uses blocks. Stonemasons can go on the side here. So we will go there, and we want to go 5 maybe, so 15, and then put spaces in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and give them a little wiggle room so we can throw torches down. No need to make things crowded. You've got the entire world to fill with rooms and projects and stockpiles. And this here is still just cranking out planks and chisels, which is good because we're going to need some of those. Alright, food piles all cleaned out and moved. Let's harvest some more food while we have the opportunity. Because, as they say in Winterfell, winter is coming. When it does, you'll want to make sure you have plenty of food. And let's make sure we've got plenty of strawberry seeds as well. Luckily, your gnomes don't give a damn if they're eating the same food over and over. Alright, so let's plan a little bit. Stonemason. Any workbench, any chair, any chisel. I like to specify which ones are already built to keep them from building new ones out of other materials that maybe you don't want them using. More expensive materials or stuff that you're almost out of and then you're going to be waiting on because you run out. Okay, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, space, 2, 2, 3, space, 3, 3, space, 4, 2, 3. Okay, so we might need 1 space. Let's take that out there. And meanwhile, on the safe side, we'll work from the other end. I miscounted. Now, I've got 5 workshops built here. Obviously, I don't want them to build all 5 because I don't even have 5 people to staff them most of the time. So what we can do, task, suspend, and you don't have to worry about using up the materials for these until you are ready. Oops. Task, suspend. So they'll just focus on the one they can make. Now, with that in mind, we should probably plan our stone cutters. See here, we've got an orange wood share in the list as once upon a time. We trusted them to not be stupid, and they made something we didn't want. And 2, 3, 4, 5. We're 5 in here. So, 4, and suspend that. Suspend that. So we can build them at our own pace, but we know we've already got the space allocated. We don't have to worry if we decide to construct another room over here, to recount the spaces and make sure that these guys are going to be able to fit. Sawmills, we might as well plan those out. Pine, I don't have any saw blades yet though. Maybe I'll hold off on that instead. We'll plop down a couple more carpenters. So we've only got 2 in here. You guys may as well unpause. Every time it saves, by the way, it automatically pauses, in case you're wondering why I had to unpause there. Chisel. So we'll put you, there. Suspend all of these for now. That one's accepting jobs. This one's accepting jobs. Once this is built, we'll be saw blade. They were trying to build that. Interrupted them. Be able to make our sawmills in here, convert these all into planks, and things will go really quickly. Woodworking aspect. Okay, we can also do clip some more trees. And 73. Let's make a pine forest. 73 minus 28 be 70 minus 25, so 45 left. $25 left. There. Set up a bunch of new trees because we are going to go through tons of lumber. There's one thing you can never have enough of, it's trees in this game. First long while. Get the people with axes cutting down these trees once they're stripped, so we have a few more logs at our disposal. And as people are planting trees, they'll get better at the horticulture skill. As they're clipping branches, they'll get better at, what is that one? Might be horticulture. As they cut down trees, they'll get better at felling lumber. Skills list. Let's see. Agriculture. Horticulture is planting and clipping branches. This is specifically farm plots. Cooking and brewing, those are self-explanatory. Rancher is just the animal side of things. Wood cutting, not wood felling. Wood cutting is the knocking down of trees. So L. Knock down a couple more. You'll notice there's food lying around, there's saplings lying around, there's cotton lying around. Doesn't matter, don't worry about it. They'll eventually get around to cleaning it up, but if there's too much of this crap laying around, that's an indicator that you're not getting any sort of idle time for them. They're not even having time to clean up. That's the last task they'll do before they sit and relax. So we don't want to get too far ahead of that. Once we have our high density forests planted, we'll clear out another patch over here. Put a bit more farm down for wheat and strawberries. And we might start leveling the area, making some even straight lines to maximize the usability of it. And doing things like replacing clay floor with dirt, because clay is not farmable, while dirt is. You are just a little clipping machine today, aren't you? Okay, set things on fast. Our 1, 2 yaks are still kicking around. What's in this pine crate? Bandages? Yeah. They brought a lot of bandages. Expecting a lot of ass kickings, I guess. The other crate has a handful of foodstuffs in it. That's fine. And bag has strawberry seeds. The other bag has wheat seeds. Oh, night's coming. Okay, one of our little forests is planted. The second one is underway, and the third one is also. See, one of the advantages to always having a unit training in your training grounds is that it effectively means there's always somebody in the vicinity of your entrance to spot when enemies are approaching. This is really, really handy because sometimes there will be one enemy that shows up by itself, a scout or a raider type, and then after, I don't know, 20 squares behind him or 30 squares behind, you'll find the other ones, the heavier armed and armored fellows coming. So spotting that scout gives you a chance to make sure that people are all ready for action. You can also prioritize things a little bit. Kill that scout who's relatively weak. Get that scout or that raider down quickly before the guy shows up who's wearing plate mail or wielding 2 freaking weapons. So, just about done all our planting. Then we'll go into logging. And good. Stonemason. Let's go. Craft chisels out of serpentine. Stock up to 2. Saw blade, serpentine. Stock up to 2. Knife blade, serpentine. Stock that up to 2. Let's see. Stone hammer, stone hand axe, stone sword. They're viable alternatives to bare knuckle brawling, but it takes time and effort to make these, and then your people have to train from the ground up with them instead of continuing their training in bare knuckles brawling. I usually bypass those entirely until I'm way down the line. What we will want is a trough for X. That's set up to make a few things. All of those things should end up laid out in here. Do I have an empty crate? I have an empty pine crate. Let's put an empty pine crate here. Collect all those logs. These logs don't stack unless you put them in crates. Once you put a crate in there, you can significantly improve the usage of space. Once that trough is there, the yaks will no longer have to go here for their food. The straw will be able to go here instead of going all the way over here. Okay, there's one of our saw blades, two of our saw blades, and a chisel. Means no longer need this thing making chisels. Let's cancel that. Pine planks, pine chair, pine workbench. This carpenter here doesn't have any designated jobs. Probably this guy. Pine training dummies. Right, so this one is going to start making pine chairs. Let's craft that up to 2. And this one is going to start making pine workbenches up to 2, because we're not making any more dummies for a long time. We don't have the population to justify having 2 training grounds. Oh, and now that we have saw blades, guess what? It is sawmill time. Workbench, pine chair, saw blade. So let's go. 1, 2, and suspend all. So we have a pine chair shortage at the moment. Stone really soon, but that's not a problem because we're going to generate tons of stone with our excavations. Right, saw blades, we've got knife blades, we've got chisels. Fantastic. Do we have our trough? We have our trough. Next, are concerned. Hit U for furniture. That'll bring up this list. Down at the bottom, trough, any trough. In the yak pen. And once that's there, the straw should be stocked there, and this straw should be stocked there. The trough can hold 32, whereas the straw pile can only hold 16. So, really, if you're generating a lot of straw for animal feed for your alpacas and yaks, you're better off to throw down a few troughs in each of the pens, because then it's just that much less stuff taking up space in your storage. And the animals don't have to then wander to your storage to eat it and come back. They'll stay in their pens, and you won't be wondering why the hell you've got yaks roaming your halls. So now, this trough has nothing in it, but this and this will get stocked in there soon enough. We have a saw bench, or sawmill. Right, plank. Let's make 9 planks. Craft it up to 20. Move that up to the top. I always want to have pine planks because we're always going to be making workbenches and chairs. Now the funny thing is, if you look really closely, you can actually see the difference. This one here, there's no way to actually tell in here. This carpenter here has crafted a pine chair. That's actually a birch or an orange chair. That'll be an orange chair because that's one of the ones we've crafted earlier. So there are color differences in case you are aesthetically inclined and want to make your color schemes look good or whatever. The pine, like I mentioned before, is a lesser wood price-wise, so things made out of it are never going to be worth as much as the items made out of birch. Birch is your high-value wood. It's soft, it's smooth, it's beautiful to work with, it's beautiful to look at. Whereas pine, not so much. Harder to work with, and so on. This guy no longer needs to be working at that crappy workstation. Let's disassemble that so that you can start working at a faster, better workstation. Cutting planks here is slower than here. Building furniture here is faster than here. So, and we have planks piling up, logs piled up. Stuff here will get cleaned up eventually. It's our trough. Still not stocked. Okay. We'll have to give these guys a little while to get caught up on all the tasks. There's all sorts of piles of things to clean up, harvest. I don't know what that guy's grabbing. Seeds, I think. Everybody's harvesting. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's like 8 people there. 7 now. You can just see the straw total going up. It's the 9th day of spring, and we just about have enough straw to fill this trough. After we expand our farm a little bit, we should have no trouble making enough straw. We can actually make people beds. Oh boy, what an improvement that makes to their day. They have more energy, they work better, faster, etc. It just improves the overall quality of their existence. So, good. We're starting to stock straw in there. Now, for your pasture size, I recommend going for something that will accommodate 7 or a multiple of 7. The reason for this is that each female, when pregnant, will gestate for 6 days. So every 6 days she can rebreed with a male. If you have 7 yaks in there, 6 females, 1 male, the male can only breed with 1 per day. So that means he'll have a full rotation. Every day he'll be breeding with a new one who has given birth and is available for breeding again. Same thing in multiple of 7. If you go 14, then you'll have 6 females to 1 male ratio preserved, but you'll have 12 and 2. You can also set thresholds in here. Max males, max females, etc. That's how I control population in my pastures. So any excess aren't allowed to stay in the pasture. They're made to go away. I don't know why they're wandering back in there. Oh, I know why they're wondering, because I was playing these values. That is a male yak, and oops. That is a female yak. Yeah, if I start playing with those numbers, it messes with things. What that BLS do? If you don't know what things do, keep your hands off. Alright. Oh, what I can do now that I have this moving smoothly, I can designate this guy to make, no, let's designate this guy to make some wheelbarrows. Iron plank, iron stick, craft wheelbarrow, craft up to 2. This one, craft buckets. You might be wondering why. Wheelbarrows allow them to carry more of an object that normally they can only carry one of. Straw, for instance, or logs. Things that don't stack. So they'll be able to come with a wheelbarrow and go pick up all of those and take them away. Same thing with the flour. Once I have the materials later, I can make bags, and they'll carry the flour, not bags, sack I think it's called. They'll put flour, plant seeds, saplings, the wool, anything that normally is stored in there, they'll stuff it in there to take it to the storage. Speed things up quite a bit. All the straw has been moved. What else have we got over here in our stockpile? Seeds, bandages, and still some food. So what we'll do. Oh, a bear has been spotted. Right. Select the bear. See, it pauses it. If you have it set, it'll pause it when it shows up. Select the bear. Attack. Right now, nobody's set to attack it. Set them all, and then deselect them all. They should leave the bear alone instead of everybody running off to piss around with a bear that actually could probably kill them. Bears at this point are a little bit more dangerous than what you want to be wasting your time on. And we can go back to putting a storage crate down here. Let's pick the one with 11 because it has food in it already. And we'll plop it in the corner. That will bring that storage crate in so that enemy raids won't mess with our food supply that's out there. Don't know anything in that barrel. We do have. Okay, so then let's set up our barrel here, and we'll set up our other barrel in here as well. Speed that up just a little bit so we can make sure everything is moved. Barrel. There we go. Now they also won't be tempted to run halfway across the map for food. It's right here. Sometimes they do illogical things like that, and there's really no way of knowing for sure why they're doing it. Now, something you should be aware of, they will run out of wine relatively quickly unless you build distilleries. On the other hand, for the cost of blocks and planks, you can build a well, and the gnomes can just drink some damn water. So, let's go. I want this to be where it connects. And that is if we go terrain, dig, stairs. And deep holes there. Fall asleep on the floor in the middle of working. You lazy bum. Right. So the fellas have dug our way to the water, so we can now put a well. Let's build ourselves a butcher with pine for furniture. If we put a well right there, then I don't have to go very far for their drinks. Building the well. Take 4 and 4, I think. There. Serpentine blocks, serpentine, depending on your bent. This guy's cranking out the planks. 2 orange wood planks, 3 orange wood planks, and soon we won't have to worry about them running out of drinks and dying of thirst, because we'll have a well. If they don't have booze to drink, they will drink milk. If they don't have milk to drink, they'll drink tea. If they don't have tea to drink, they'll drink water. If they don't have any of that to drink, they're fucked. I might have the pecking order wrong on that, but it's booze first, milk, and then water. Can't remember for sure where tea falls and all of that. Okay, well, we've made some good progress. We've got a lot of things set up here, a lot of organization and tidying done. Seems like a good place to take a little hiatus here. Join me next time, and I will continue covering some important details here. We'll talk a little bit further about why we dig up all that clay and replace it. It's not just so that we can farm on it. There's other uses for clay. We'll cover some things regarding the crafting tree, you know, the different benches, workstations, etc. And we'll continue evolving this little settlement into something more functional. Right now it's still kind of in chaos. So, like, subscribe, comments or questions down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can.